Art making is a skill that can be taught and learned. Today, you're going to be exploring the element of space and how to use the skill of one-point perspective to create an illusion of 3D forms in space on a 2D surface. Remember, this is a skill that everyone can master. So make sure that you're paying close attention to each step on how to complete this skill today. We're going to use a brass fastener as our vanishing point and then double knot a piece of yarn onto that vanishing point. Then from there, we're going to use our rubber cement. We glue a thin layer on the back of our paper and then a very thin layer on our sketchbook surface. And then we put it on. Remember to wiggle that paper until it is stuck. Now that we're all set up, we are going to draw the top faces of different prisms and cylinders using geometric shapes. So please, please, please use those mechanical lines, use those stencils to make the precise geometric shapes. Now, the type of one-point perspective we're going to do today is called aerial perspective or bird's eye view perspective, meaning it's going to be like we are a bird flying up in the sky looking down onto the tops of these really tall buildings. So what we're doing now is drawing the top face of those buildings or the top roof of those buildings using squares, rectangles, or circles. Let's not go too complicated here with our geometric shapes. Let's just keep them circles, squares, or rectangles so we can eventually turn those into cylinders and prisms. You can see here that I'm trying to balance out those geometric shapes all around my vanishing point at the top, at the middle, at the bottom. I'm not overlapping any of them now. I'm kind of creating some space and area around them because I want to have enough space in between to actually show the depth, the part where it looks like the building is shrinking down into the ground. Next step, time to create the illusion of space using one-point perspective. I'm going to use my string that's already connected to my vanishing point, and I'm going to line that string up with every corner, every outer edge of my shape. Now notice some of those edges we're not going to be able to see, so I would just leave those out instead of just erasing them. On our cylindrical forms, I'm going to find the outermost edge of the face of the circle, and then I'm going to just hold that string nice and tight until I lightly draw that diagonal line that's converging towards that vanishing point. I sketched it light until I knew it was right. So we're going to do that for every single edge, every single shape. This drawing skill will show how your form will appear to get smaller and smaller as it goes further away. And all of those lines are converging to that one point. Now, as the spicy option, what you could do is you could actually cut off the bottom of those forms so it doesn't go all the way to the vanishing point. Notice how I'm going to create a parallel line to the rectangle or the square. It's parallel. It's exactly the same. Create the parallel line to the top of that rectangle or square or circle, whatever it is. And then you can erase the rest of those vanishing point lines. This is a way that you could actually end your form so it doesn't look like it shrinks all the way down to the vanishing point. This is the spicy option. Notice how my curves are going to be parallel. Remember, parallel means the same. And I would just draw what I would see. I would not draw the parts that are overlapping. This is a spicy option if you're really understanding one-point perspective. You can definitely stop with everything converging to that vanishing point, but if you like to look like your buildings are ending at a certain point, so you can have some space for some trees or roads or things like that, you can. Notice I'm going to make my curve match, make it parallel, decide where you want to end that form, and then erase the remainder of those one-point perspective lines. Those were just kind of acting as guidelines. Once again, this is the spicy option if you want to include things like roads, trees, so they look like real buildings. Have fun, my friends!